Hey guys, and welcome to this week's blog. I'm Vicky Murgatroyd, founder of Life Empowerment Project. And in this week's blog, I want to teach you directly from Master Your Emotions, which is our premium 8-week program, which is designed to transform the minds, the internal processes of female entrepreneurs. So this week, I want to share with you one of our foundational principles in there, which is giving yourself validation and allowing that self-doubt to just fade. So specifically what you're going to learn today is how to silence self-doubt. So self-doubt is a process that we do. It's a thought pattern that we go through, and because that thought pattern's been run many times, I want you to imagine, just like with any other program behavior that we've learned, you come into a forest and you've got to cut your path through that forest. The first time that you cut your path, difficult, you've got to cut your way through, and then the second time you come to that same forest, do you cut yourself a brand new path, or do you go down the path of least resistance? Of course, you go down the path of least resistance. Very soon that pathway becomes very much worn in, and therefore it's very easy for exactly what happens in your brain, the neurons to fire down that pathway, so you go back into those same old habits, the way you used to think. So, in terms of this, it's going to take a lot of practice, repetition and dedication for you to consciously apply yourself to then thinking in a different way. So whenever those thoughts come up, first thing to do to stop doubting yourself is to recognize them. To step back and actually recognize your thoughts means that you're no longer caught up in that tidal wave. You are the observer of that, and therefore you've got loads of control back already. So that's step number one. And then you want to go into switching those thoughts up. It's very difficult to just quiet your mind, to just shut everything off. So what you want to do is think differently. So as soon as you find yourself doubting yourself, oh, I could never do that, just affirm to yourself who you are and what you bring to the table. So this is where it comes in directly from Master Your Emotions. I have the women on the program every single morning do a morning ritual where they affirm all the things that they are, all the amazing things that they're bringing to the table. And then very quickly, just like going to the gym, you build that new muscle, and instead of falling back into the old patterns of I'm not good enough, or I can never do that, or that'll never be me, you go into the immediate response of I've got everything it takes to be successful. I have it within me. I'm smart, I'm funny, I'm well connected, I'm amazing with people, and I have a huge vision that I'm willing to commit myself to. These then become your fallback thoughts, so it becomes more and more natural every time. It's only in the initial stages where it's going to require that real conscious effort. And the more that becomes your natural pattern, the stronger that becomes, and the less you're going to find yourself slipping back into those old patterns anyway. And when you do, just like before, you'll snap into it, you'll observe the pattern, and therefore you'll be stepped out of the pattern and you will be able to run something entirely different. So to stop doubting yourself, affirm every day to yourself what it is that you're bringing to the table. Become conscious of those underlying thoughts that you're feeding yourself day in, day out. One of the things I always said, and I've said this before in a blog and I'll say it again undoubtedly, is imagine for a day that you're going to walk around with a megaphone, and instead of your thoughts just being inside your head, all of your thoughts are projected outward. So how are you speaking to yourself? Become conscious of it, because you're never going to bully yourself to success. Never ever. You've got to become your best friend, your biggest ally and your biggest supporter, and therefore switch up those old thoughts, bring in something new, affirm everything you're bringing to the table, because you are extraordinary. You have amazing things that the world needs to see, but the minute that you start recognizing it is the minute that can be utilized. So affirm to yourself every single day, build a new muscle, and very quickly you'll be falling back on self-confidence, self-assurance and self-worth instead of that old stuff that was never serving you anyway. So self-doubt is one of the biggest killers of your dreams. We have all these great ideas in our heads, but the reason we don't action them is because we don't think that we're good enough, we don't know how, etc. The minute that you take control of that is the minute you start acting in a different way. Remember, your thoughts become your feelings, become your actions, become your habits, become your life. So when you take control of that right at the beginning of that process, all of a sudden you take control of the entire process, and that is where you deserve to be. And as a female entrepreneur, the rest of the world's waiting on you too. So switch up those thoughts, take control back, and very quickly you'll be falling back on all the self-confidence you could ever need to make your life exactly what you want it to be. This is a topic that I'm massively passionate about. This is the exact space that I used to be in, doubting myself, being awful to myself, and generally thinking all these bad things about myself. I I could not have made the transition to where I am now, still thinking those old thoughts, and you won't be able to make the transition into what you want, thinking those old thoughts either. That is why I'm so passionate about it and so passionate about you making this massive change, because you deserve it. So if you are struggling, then get in touch with us. Get in touch. We've got 5 calls, as we always do every single week, looking to connect with the right women who we can help, who we can mentor, who we can help change those internal processes so they can change the external exponentially. So if that's you and you are ready for a big change, get in touch. We love to connect with women just like you. So that's all for today's blog. Thank you very much, guys. In the meantime, before I see you on next week's blog, live empowered and be inspired.